All right, listen up. This is a Code Ninja security advisory for CVE-2026-25122. We've got critical intelligence for your operations, so pay close attention. So let's get right to it. The number one question you need to answer is this: are your OCI container build pipelines vulnerable? Because an attacker can use a specially crafted APK archive to just absolutely slam your CPU, leading to a critical denial of service. Okay, let's break this down. We are issuing this advisory on a pretty serious vulnerability in apko, which, as you know, is a tool used to build OCI container images. This isn't a small bug. This flaw can bring your entire build pipeline to a grinding halt. The attack vector we're dealing with here is a classic Gzip bomb. You can think of it like a digital Trojan horse, really. An attacker makes this tiny, harmless-looking APK file, but when your system tries to unpack it, boom. The file just detonates, expanding exponentially to eat up every last bit of CPU and memory you have. It will absolutely grind your operations to a halt. Our objective here is crystal clear. This disclosure is designed to do two things, and two things only. First, to force an immediate patch from the vendor, and second, to arm you, the defender, with the intel you need to implement compensating controls right now. All right, before I transmit the full technical protocol, we need to secure this channel. Let's run a quick comms check. Stand by establishing a secure link. I need your acknowledgement on this time-sensitive intel. Here's the protocol. I need you to follow this three-step security protocol. 1. Subscribe. You need real-time threat intelligence. 2. Like this advisory. That's your formal acknowledgement that you've received this intel. And 3. Comment with your status. Tell us patched or vulnerable. This is absolutely critical for us to gauge the blast radius of this threat. Good. Comms link secured. Acknowledgement received. We are now proceeding to the threat and mitigation protocol. So what are we looking at for the blast radius? Well, basically any team using apko for their OCI container image build pipelines is directly in the line of fire. And this also extends to any backend system that might be processing untrusted APK streams. Okay, this slide is mission critical. If you are running apko version 0.14.8 up to but not including version 1.1.0, your infrastructure is vulnerable. The patch is in version 1.1.0 and every release after that. You need to verify your versions immediately. And let's be perfectly clear about the operational impact here. A successful exploit triggers a critical DOS. We're talking unbounded CPU consumption, severe build pipeline slowdowns, system timeouts, and, ultimately, total service unavailability for your entire CI/CD environment. Now let's look at the threat intelligence metrics. GitHub scores this a 5.5, which they call a medium. But Snyk's security team, they assess the risk quite a bit higher, at a 7.1 high. And frankly, that reflects the huge impact on availability. The EPS score, well, it indicates a low probability of exploitation in the wild as of right now. But with a low attack complexity, that could change in a heartbeat. The root cause here is crucial. It's CVE-400, uncontrolled resource consumption. The bug itself is in the expandapk.Split function. It's processing a Gzip stream without any kind of limit on the uncompressed data size. It's a textbook failure to implement defensive programming against inputs you don't trust. And that brings us to the primary remediation. The required action is direct, it's non-negotiable. You must upgrade apko to version 1.1.0 or higher. Do it immediately. This is the only way to completely neutralize this threat. The patch itself, if you want to look it up in commit 2B3903, it addresses the root cause head-on. It implements what are called limit readers for any data that's coming from an external source. It just enforces explicit bounds and stops that uncontrolled resource consumption right in its tracks. Now, if for some reason you absolutely cannot patch immediately, you have to deploy these fallback mitigation controls. You've got to contain the blast radius, apply resource limits using C groups, isolate your APK processing in sandboxes, pre-validate the compression ratios on any incoming archives, and wrap your build commands in timeout wrappers to kill any of these runaway processes. Okay, that covers the technical protocol. Let's move to the final phase of this advisory, the disclosure code and sign-off. We practice coordinated vulnerability disclosure for one simple reason. Our mission is to force fixes and protect the perimeter. Defenders like you have to be armed with the actionable intelligence you need to defend your systems. Keeping the stuff secret only benefits the attacker. This concludes the advisory for CVE-2026-25122. Implement the protocol, stay secure.